Alright, here we go. This is game 3 between happydeath and Maor247. It is once again going to be on Storm, but with the same mechs as last time. So, green player on the left side, Maor247 in the Tomcat Striker, and his opponent, happydeath, in the Osprey, Steampunk Osprey. Red player on the right side, both going for bottom. It does seem to be the standard meta opening to go for bottom, and then either middle or corner, but you have to split your units so you can start as early as possible for, you know, on each side. So that's just what happydeath is doing already. He you know, spends less time with his mech than Maor does, but more, you know, as a consequence, grabbing the bottom outpost sooner. And these creeps getting stuck, I'm not really sure why that's happening, but Maor going with both the corner and the top outpost on his side, but does get himself killed by a T99. That's a little weird. And happydeath grabbing bottom and corner, gonna go for top now, gonna get a little bit ahead of Maor because of that death. And Maor almost losing that tank, actually does grab it and heals it up. So happydeath gonna take his top outpost first, gonna start ferrying over and probably gonna start the mid fight, or gonna start harassing. Does realize Maor is a little bit behind, but does not really get very far. Maor is going to be right behind him with that outpost grab, and now his creeps are going to go for this bottom left. So happydeath with an early economic advantage, having more outposts under his control. More outposts equals more income, boys and girls, if you did not know that. And there you go, Maor going to get that top corner finally, and happydeath going to work on the bottom T99s, which is a little bit unorthodox. Usually you start with the mid fight. And Maor noticing this unit clump that, or not even a clump, but the units that happydeath ferried to the top. Happydeath not able to save that Dillo, but noticing that, Maor ferries forward. Happydeath cannot really contest this very well, especially against the Striker. Well, actually, with all those Dillos and as an Osprey, I'm a little bit surprised that he decided to pull back right there. That's just kind of strange. But happydeath finishing off the first T99 and moving up to the top fight, okay, to thwart this harassment by Maor. And Maor forced to pull back too many units over there for happydeath that Maor cannot really handle at this point. Now Maor starting on the mid fight, gonna try to put his Longhorn right in goalie, like right outside goalie range, but within Longhorn range, and that's exactly what happens there. So 21-20 right now, very even across the board. happydeath with a couple of jokers along with his flackers down there. Only rebels down here guarding for Maor, so, and Maor definitely has not scouted much of happydeath's side quite yet. Does continue to attack this top cluster of units that happydeath has thrown up there, but happydeath actually pushing bottom, not really pushing, but moving in, killing that T99, and Maor killing a couple of units over here. happydeath, with his units up top and bottom, really needed to just kind of ping-pong back and forth as much as possible to keep Maor from doing what he just did. And, okay, so the T99 dead. The bottom units still have not been moved out. Okay, but Happy moving all of his units at the top. I think putting a couple of them on attack and then holding position here for some strange reason, not using all of his units. So Maor forced to react. And in the meantime, Happy will push the bottom outpost. Oh no, set them on follow. Okay, now gonna bring them over here. So Maor reacting to this, but Happy with a great move, distracting Maor, able to get a pretty good surround on this bottom outpost. Maor putting units up here at the high ground so they can fire in, but happydeath has firm control of this area with 4 probes, continuing to use probes. But Maor with a few units over here as well with a totally undefended outpost. happydeath definitely will lose that outpost. And happydeath continuing, pushing to fort. With these, this is a strange unit composition to do a fort push with, or at least to move to the fort with. He's kind of just stationing them too. He's not really doing any, he's not really moving them with the intent of doing damage. He's just moving them with the intent of settling. So he really needs to retake that outpost. Oh no, almost loses those probes, but grabs them under his control, and there you go, takes that outpost right back, but losing units pretty quickly to Maor's leapfrog up here. Needs to pull back, I would say. It puts a T99 in the socket, puts a second T99 down, and just still losing units to Maor's tank line. up here as well. Okay, no, the T-99s are actually doing work, and Happy Death dropping probes both in distraction location and to take the to reoccupy the outpost. So Happy Death able to maintain this bottom outpost while Maor still trying to fight that back, but he was able to take this top right. And Happy Death trying to take that back right now with a couple of Dillos. And yes, finally using these units up here, but for what purpose? Okay, just gonna bring them back to his right side.
Outpost down.
And he does neutralize the outpost. His creeps will take it back sometime soon. Speaking of creeps, does ferry them over to take this bottom outpost under his control, but he is definitely getting pushed back by pretty much all of the units that Maor has on the field, except for these at the top right corner. Does now have to deal with this top push, or not the top push, but the push of units that came from the top. But just puts a couple of units in blocking position. He's not really in fort health danger, so he can just afford to set some there to kill eventually, taking a little bit more damage, and it was not that much for that fast either. So Happy Death having a pretty good foothold on this bottom outpost here. 29-35 is a little bit behind, but Maor kind of having a hard time. No, like, artillery or anything. I'm a little surprised to not see anything like that, and Maor just ferrying over. And Happy Death dropped these over here. Wow, I'm not really sure what the point of that was. So now we have two mechs clearing their enemy units on two different areas of the map. Maor, okay, pulling back. He was bringing brutes. I was like, wow, he's going to continue because Happy Death has a, you know, pretty good handle in that situation. But no, decided to pick up that tank and pull back. Probably the right move considering the unit density that Happy Death had over there. And he was also there to defend if he chose to as well. But Happy Death, you see, using the Dillos, he can split forces, and Dillos are much more damage efficient for their cost. So that's one thing. As long as he keeps them alive is the thing. So, you know, Dillo's not good for a sustained standoffish fight. They do not tank very well, which is why a lot of people tend to gravitate toward Longhorn. Okay, Happy Death putting down a couple of heavy mines. I guess, yeah, should be worried about that push-in, especially if Maor gets far enough ahead, but at this stage, he's not really going to do that. I'm a little surprised to see him. Well, they're so cheap, so I'm not that surprised because, you know, put one or two down. You put four, because why not? You know, that's a full cargo's worth, you know. But now the top outpost control is settling a little bit more. Okay, no, never mind. Maor putting down a couple of brutes over here. Will Happy be able to get some in time? He was able to get one in before the green guys started to move in. What is that? Not really sure what was doing damage there to Maor's fort, but it's dead now. So 4 brutes still pounding away. Okay, there you go. He will be okay. Happy Death reallocated a couple of his Dillos from that top outpost. And artillery firing in. Okay, we are about to get started on the more standard game. Weird, so weird. That was a great opening exchange for 8 minutes between these two players. Although Happy Death does still have that bottom left outpost under his control. Creeps moving into middle, and no long range, no artillery firing in for Maor yet, but one up there for Happy Death. Maor definitely sees that now. Happy Death, I mean, might have wanted to bunker some creeps on that back one. I mean, you gotta just take what you can get, especially since he was passing by. I'm a little surprised to see that he didn't do that. But okay, now Maor has some artillery firing in for the bottom. Happy Death has 2 patchers, so that will be pretty effective, actually, against just a single Archie. And now a second Archie going up for Happy Death down here at this bottom left area. Dillo's coming up. Yeah, that's great. That is great positioning for Happy Death, especially as an Osprey gonna be forcing. That's a lot of pressure on Maor right now, especially this close to his fort. Although he does have fort energy there to support him rather than just an outpost over here, so that is a little bit in favor of Maor. He does not have as limited of an energy or regen, but Happy Death with a generator on this outpost socket, so he will be able to actually maintain this. On a turtle going down. Oh my god. This outpost pretty secure by Maor, so I was just checking to see if Happy Death had the opportunity or could have the opportunity to harass it. Let me check. What are these? Okay, he just put heavy mines back there. A little bit worried about that top pushed fort, I guess. But the turtle tanking a lot of damage there for Happy Death. 33 to 62. Happy Death well ahead. And as you know, as an Osprey, he will probably just slowly move an inch forward, the way that Ospreys can maintain, applying that overshield ability. Level 7 though, now we might start seeing Goliaths come out for either player. Although I don't see them in Maor's loadout, he might have them in his second. Happy Death now can start making them for sure, because I was able to see that in his first loadout. I think that's what you see there. But moving forward, still again with a pretty commanding lead and economically way ahead too, especially since Maor only has 2, Happy Death has 4, has a lot of income right now. A lot of the income and upkeep benefits have shifted to the posts from Fort more recently. And Happy Death keeping that turtle alive, or at least doing his darndest. 2 Patchers healing them up with him, and dropping a distraction gangster there. Gonna drop and fire Heal Nova while he shoots, and actually applying Heal Beam. Wow. So artillery firing, and that's why I'm hearing the damage sound, because the splash damage is actually barely hitting the fort, doing basically minuscule, negligible amounts of damage. And Happy Death now moving up. Oh boy, but wait, what was this? A couple of gangster drops by Maor. Will Happy Death be able to oh man, that's doing a lot of damage. They're all firing at the corners, which have lower armor than the front, than the sides. So here, and here have lower, or sorry, higher armor. If you have low piercing stuff like Gangster, or Jackal, or Joker, or Rebel, or Zipper, or whatever, you want them hitting the corners because they will do more damage since they have lower armor. But Gangster's firing in. Happy Death is at less than half of his health. He's at about a quarter of his health already. He needs to... Okay, he has a lunchbox, but that was a huge drop for Maor. Very cheap. And he's going to continue throwing the afterburners down. Oh no, he got kind of caught up on those rocks right there. Needed to throw all of them on the corner, I would say, but not going to be able to get through that lunchbox shield that is now building up. Basically, a gangster rush or another gangster drop is basically all he has, his only hope at this point. Because Happy Death is now moving in. Maor needs to spam... I don't know if he has missiles, I would assume. Okay, yeah, level 2 missiles, needs to spam those as much as he possibly freaking can. As a striker, will be able to do a fair amount of damage. Happy Death already level 9 with a lot of T99s. This will probably be the end of the game unless Maor can pull out a miracle with his gangster. Does decide to... Okay, he's going to be able to jet across the map with his... Whoa! No! Oh, decides to go for this outpost. But he's taking fort damage pretty steadily here. Okay, weird stuff here. Maor not going for the finish, which is probably his only hope. Even though he's trying to neutralize, that's not really going to get him anywhere, as he's slowly being ticked away by those T99s in range of his fort, and the scary fort damage sound is starting now. And Maor now going to fly in circles. That was probably his last chance with that gangster drop. That was I don't know, he repositioned them for an outpost attack, which was kind of strange. But Happy Death taking this ranked 1v1 on Storm. Taking game 3. They played more games, but apparently these were the best. These were the ones that were sent in. But taking game 3 on Storm over Maor247. 1v1s, I know the game is balanced around 2v2, but 1v1s are still great. I know a lot of people like playing 1v1, not having to rely on a teammate. But definitely 2v2 is the featured mode of this game. But I really appreciate all these replay submissions from Happy Death. Also great performances by Maor247. Awesome series. Set up your replays, everybody. Look at the links in my video description. Please take a gander at that forum post that explains how to set up replays, how to send them in to me, and yeah, can create more content for the community. AirMech is growing. We are out of early access, and the Carry Me, man, I completely forgot to mention this in the last game or two. The Carry Me 2v2 tournament will be hosted by Frisky Cow on April 21st, 2018. It will be a balanced format, meaning they will pair people up in order of skill using you know, current rankings. highest players paired with the lowest players, and the middle players meeting in between. That will be that'll definitely be an interesting day. So sign up, show up, like I always say. This is REY, and that is game. See you next time.